This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nak Muay. Go check it out.
All right, so we have Coach Connor Olonick in today. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you doing, crew?
Good, man. We were just you're covering classes today in Santa Barbara.
Yep.
So, when's the last time you taught a kids class?
Last time I taught a kids class, well, I helped you and Tomas do one a couple months ago. I helped out with the recent testing that we did, which was 2-3 weeks ago where we tested the kids. But I was kind of took a side seat on that one. The last time I taught a kids class was at another gym at Krav Maga Worldwide, where I taught a couple kids classes there, just sort of as a favor to help out. But I didn't really get a whole lot of instruction on how to do it ahead of time. It was more just kind of like, hey, you know how to teach adults. These are smaller. Go ahead. So, probably that was like my fourth maybe kids class ever when it comes to martial arts.
So you taught kids class today and stuff too? Did you have fun?
Yeah, no, I had a great time. Yeah, the kids were a lot of fun. I was happy to see that it was, a pretty small group of like 4 kids and kind of a wide age range and skill range too. So it was a good training experience for me.
Yeah. And then we just went over and got some empanadas, right?
Yeah, it was super good. Empanadas and coffee. Waiting to start our competition training session.
Competition prep. So, last fight you had was IFS. What was it, IFS 50 or 52?
IFS 51 or 52.
Yeah, one of the first IFS events, or 50th ones. But it's crazy to see how Sean's built that show up since like day one. We're talking about like this today for the fight event that Kyle's fighting at down in Burbank Marriott. This promoter is co-promoted. He used another long-standing promoter's license to help promote. But this is the first time he's doing it all by himself. So I know he'll get his feet under him in regards to like the promotion and stuff like that. It's Cali Muay Thai series with Big Troy. I like the name too, Mask Off.
Mask Off.
Yeah,
I thought funny. It was like, what a surprise, Mask Off.
But sweet, man. So tell me a little bit about like I know your story about like some of it. How did you get started in martial arts?
So I got started. Well, first of all, I grew up on the East Coast. I'm originally from Connecticut, a little town called Cheshire, and I decided that I wanted to learn how to fight. I was, a decently athletic kid growing up, played a lot of sports, and that just like always sounded cool to me. I've been into like shooting and stuff like that for a long time, so learning how to fight just made sense for me and it lined up with my interests. So I went around to a bunch of places, not even that many places, but I had heard about this thing called Krav Maga, which is an Israeli self-defense system. And I was like, this is awesome. So I went to a place in New Haven, Connecticut, and they were training on like wood floors, like a dance studio. Yeah. And it was that was Commando Krav Maga. And I'm
Krav Maga?
Oh yeah. And I was like, how could this not be the coolest? It has Commando in the name. And then I was working with the guy, and it was awesome. And then I told my dad, I was like, I did one class, and I thought it was the best thing ever. And I told my dad, like, okay, well, I want to do this. And he was like, well, we were going to see this other place in this other town called Naugatuck.
And you're like, no.
And I'm like, no, I already know I want to do this. And he was like, let's go check it out. And I was like, all right, fine. And then we go to the other place, and I found out that like Commando Krav Maga was basically like a rip-off self-defense system created by this guy who claimed to be like the co-creator of the original Krav Maga with the founder Emi, and it was like the guy is like from Israel originally, but like living in Argentina to dodge lawsuits.
Oh wow!
And then I was just like, and he did like the instructor I talked to, who ended up being like the guy who's taught me some of the like most of what I've learned throughout my martial arts career. His name is Britt. He didn't like try to like discredit like he was informative, but he was nice about it. He wasn't trying to put anyone down.
Yeah.
But I realized like even then, like after that conversation, like that first class that I took, it was just like it seemed like there was a lot more substance to it. Mm-hmm. So I signed up there when I was 14 years old.
14? So is this at the Commando Krav Maga place?
No, this is at the legit Krav Maga place. This was at a
Dad,
Krav Maga Worldwide Certified Training Center.
So Dad was right on having you go check out.
Dad was super right. Yeah, super
job,
right.
Dad.
Yeah, he wanted me to do the Goldilocks thing, and I was like, come on, one and done, let's do it. You know,
Yeah.
I fell for the like all the excitement and the pageantry, and he was like, no, let's look into more stuff. So I ended up training there for a long time. From when I was 14.
Talk at the mic.
Yeah. I started training there when I was 14. Found out that I was pretty good at it pretty quick, and started like training me towards becoming an instructor when I was around 16, 17. And then when I was 18, I went...
when you say he's training for instructor, what do they do? Just like have you start helping out classes or...
Kind of. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't get that much like teaching instruction. Sometimes I would get like thrown in front of the class and be told to like teach straight punches or something like that. But like Krav Maga Worldwide is really specific about their teaching template and how they want you to do it. And I learned that when I got sent to instructor certification, which is like a week-long course, which is meant to like teach you and test you on a bunch of stuff for 6 days, where you train 8 hours a day, and then on the 7th day it's just all testing. Like you show us what you know, and it's like physical testing and teaching testing.
Yeah. I remember I saw one of those. They had like a certification level 1 course or something like that for like instructor training for Krav Maga.
Yeah, and it's they used to do it back in the day when they were just trying to get people to come in, that you had to be like you had to have some kind of credential in another martial art, like a black belt type
I almost
or
did
something,
one.
and then they could, and they could let you in. And there are some places that still do that, but now for the most part, like it's kind of hard to pass unless you've been sponsored, like, or not sponsored, but sent by like a current affiliate, or you have some kind of Krav Maga training already. But they do it that long form, week-long thing, so that they could take someone who's a good martial artist and like teach them over the course of a week and certify them in like the pretty basic
like
stuff,
level 1, right?
And make
That's
you a level 1
1
instructor.
yeah.
Yeah, because like keep in mind, like level 1 doesn't even include hook punches. Level 1 is like moving, groin kicks, round kicks,
like straight palm strikes,
front kicks, palm strikes, straight punches, and then like those we would call those strikes or combatives, and then we go into the self-defense techniques, which would be like defense against choke from the front while being pushed, choke from behind, choke from the side, headlock from behind, headlock from the side. That's pretty much the level 1 curriculum. And then level 2, you get into like a little bit more advanced striking, more boxing defense. You get into bear hugs. Level 3, that's when like you do a lot more stuff on tie pads, stringing together longer combos. And then after that, you get into like multiple opponents, weapons, stuff like that.
Sweet. What do they call that? Sequencing? What do they call it when you have multiple opponents?
I mean, we call it stacking. Like the goal.
Stacking.
Yeah, the goal is to stack your opponents, right? So I would do a lot of that, and it was like super fun, where you do like, 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1, 4.
So that's what you understand when I talk. We have in our curriculum some stacked drills, like stacked clinch drills and drills and stuff.
Exactly.
And it's to hit some of that self defense, concepts also of having more than one person coming at you.
Yeah.
Because you know this, like people come to us, they want to learn self defense. And who are we if we only teach them one-on-one stuff? You have to have at least something where it's multiple people coming at, just even if they're not trying to hit you, just moving towards you.
Yeah.
So you have to keep in mind of like where everybody's at that's around you and everything too.
Yeah. So I have a cool story about that. I went to an open house that Baz Rutan's gym, Elite MMA in Westlake Village, had to like try to like promo their memberships and everything. And I saw that he was having Amir Peretz there, who's like a bigwig in the Krav Maga world, and they're both, Amir and Baz are both like kind of affiliated with Krav Maga Worldwide.
Yeah.
But he was having Amir there for like to teach a free basic self-defense seminar. So I was like, I'll check out the gym, I might sign up. It was kind of far for me, but I wanted to, do some more
It's
MMA.
also Baz Rutan's gym.
Yeah, and Baz Rutan is like my favorite fighter ever of all time.
Let's be honest. Did you get your first self-defense kick? Did you ever see his self-defense videos?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, dang it. I love, dude. He's awesome.
Those were fun. I saw those before they went viral. Like
I did too. I did too. Yeah, before Joe Rogan like blew them up and everything.
I torrented them.
Oh, you did?
They ended up like I torrented them when I was looking at trying to find Muay Thai stuff back in the day. Like you had to like get stuff on BitTorrent for like fight videos because it wasn't on YouTube. Just no one had them on YouTube. I had to torrent them. Yeah.
Because I knew like everyone in Krav Maga knows Baz because everyone uses his workout recordings where he calls out
combinations. Oh, they do that.
Yeah. Everyone
sense.
Like we had 2 CDs in like at our first place. We had a stereo. We had one that was like. We had one coach that like the music that he played in class was the radio station 99.1 PLR, and then we had 2 CDs. We had one that was like a mix of like 10 like metal workout songs, and then we had Baz Rutan's boxing, Thai boxing, and MMA conditioning.
You know, I've used those before just for like to have motivation.
They're good.
Yeah, it's decent because it's simple. For those that don't know, it's like he'll call out like one, and that means like one punch, and you finish with a knee or a kick, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's the boxing one where he has less breaks between combos, and 1 means jab, 2 jab cross, 3 jab cross hook, 4 jab cross hook cross, or jab cross hook uppercut.
Yes.
And then if you do the Thai boxing CD, you add a knee or a kick depending on whether you have a bag or a pad holder or you're shadow boxing. And then he's got these like 30-minute long ones. Yeah. And it's meant to be the kind
like
of
the
thing.
Workout ones. It has the MMA workout ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're like moving around on the ground and doing stuff like that. And like we would use that a ton to like kind of guide your shadow boxing routine. So I knew about Baz Rutan from the beginning, and I was always like looking up his content, trying to search stuff. I watched his old fights in Pancrase when he was like the only striker that was in an MMA division of mostly grapplers. And
Pancrase was pretty bad. I liked Pancrase because it had the no gloves.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So you can bare knuckle to the body, which is.
Do you know why they did that?
It was because it was pro wrestlers, right?
Part of it is because like a lot of the early MMA culture in Japan was like really closely linked with pro wrestling. Like Sakuraba was a pro wrestler and like a great grappler. But the Japanese were all really good grapplers, and they specialized in leg locks. So what they did in Pancrase was they made no closed fist punching to the face allowed. You could only open hand punch to the face, which meant they could grapple better because they had free hands. And they made these guys wear these big, like full boot shin guards, which were really easy to.
And they covered like their knee and stuff too.
Yeah,
right?
it was a full boot. It went all the way from the foot, just like a boot, all the way up to the knee, and then they wore these like Speedos.
Yeah.
So when
like
you look at it,
the wrestler like Speedos. Right?
Exactly. So when you look at it, it looks like professional wrestling, but it was real fighting. And like the guys would go in there and they would kind of like slap each other around. And Baz Rutan, he like transitioned to MMA after going 16-0 in Muay Thai in the Netherlands. And so he went in there and he was the first one to throw like real palm heel strikes where he would like crank his knuckles all the way back towards his forearm and use like the base of his forearm and his wrist bone to like pound guys.
You can look up, if you guys want to see it, just look up Baz Rutan highlight videos. If you see the videos of him wearing like the Speedos and the boot looking things, it's exactly what it is. And there's many like highlight videos of him cracking people in the liver with
in his fight with Jason DeLucia, he ruptured his liver.
Oh.
That's why, like, if you go to his
rolls backwards.
If you go to his gym, like, you can buy a shirt and it says like Baz Rutan's MMA, like breaking livers since 1997. So he talks about breaking people's livers, and it's because he did it once. He made someone's liver hemorrhage.
Oh wow!
The dude had to go to the hospital after that immediately.
Wow.
But
because bare knuckle, man, I can't even imagine that guy's got big.
Exactly. Hands. Well, that and he would like set it up with tons and tons of liver kicks too. He would do kicks and punches, and they had weird rules in Pancrase, like. You could submit someone and the fight wouldn't be over if they were close enough to grab one of the ropes.
The
rope
rope
escapes.
Break. Yeah.
But anyways, going back to like Krav Maga and multiple opponents, like I loved Baz Rutan. I went to his gym, and Amir Peretz had us do this drill where we did shoulder tags, like one-on-one shoulder tags, and then we did like a free-for-all, like 30 people on a mat that wasn't very big, all doing a free-for-all shoulder tag. And so normally you don't want to be in a corner.
Yeah.
When you're against one opponent, but I went and put my back in the corner just so that I knew that like it was impossible for anyone to be behind me because there'd be people in the middle just like getting tagged from behind, and it's like I just put everyone in front of me because I remembered like my coach that I trained with in Connecticut would be like yelling at me if I didn't do that, and then like after it was over, Baz Rutan stopped everyone and he pointed at me and he was like, "This guy this guy had the right idea. He was over here, and he made sure no one got behind him. So he had his eyes on everyone, and it was just like,
funny.
It felt so good. I like had like the warm waves come over me. I was like, this is awesome. Like Baz Ruben just told me I was smart and good at something. This is awesome, because he was like legitimately like it was like at the time it's like my favorite active fighter was Georges St. Pierre, but my favorite fighter ever of all time was Baz Ruben.
Damn.
And I like freaked out when I found out he had a gym so close to us. I was like, I have to go.
He had this guy. He had Ramon Decker's brother teaching there for a while.
Oh, really? He did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Carlo Deckers.
Yeah.
I went there and I trained like when they had like a couple like free classes when he first started. I went there just to go train with him. Ramon Deckers did a seminar there. And
I'm not surprised.
Man, I had like some of my friends like, you should go. I'm like, oh, I'll go next time he comes.
No.
And then he died like 4 months later. Yeah, that I'm like, no.
Dude, died way too young.
Like, so that's why I'm always hammering that on people. I'm like, go to these seminars while these people are around and they're here and we're bringing them into the academy and stuff. Like, you just never know what's gonna happen. The guy wasn't old; he was in his 40s. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, riding his bike, right?
Yeah, he's riding his bike and he's had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Try to do something healthy, right?
I know. Yeah.
It's crazy, but rest in peace. But it's cool to see like that Dutch style kickboxing, style for that. I've had a couple people that have come over from them, and that like stylistically they're looking for more like the precision of like Muay Thai, because like I feel like Dutch kickboxing is like the machine gun approach. Like,
exactly.
I'm gonna throw everything with
overwhelm
power.
And destroy, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick through their guard. I'm gonna kick through their check, all this stuff. Which like I can see MMA, and then like, even some people in Muay Thai, like that overwhelms people.
Yeah,
and you can win.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's like it's totally a measure of your composure, and it's like an inexperienced fighter, they'd have to be really good to get out of that. Yeah. But like a very experienced fighter, it's like if they're smart enough to weather the storm, like not everyone has the cardio to keep up a Dutch style pace for 3 or 5 rounds.
Yeah. So if they can weather the storm for the first round and a half, usually they can start picking up momentum after that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's exciting stuff. I like watching a lot of the Dutch guys. Like when I first started all those videos I was torrenting, they were from Europe. So they're like European Muay Thai fighters that were on there. Like, of course, like Ernesto Hus, Ramon Deckers, Peter Aerts, there's Rob Kamen. For anybody out there, go search these people. I think a lot of them are on the our live stream for our Muay Thai fight live stream, actually. But Rob Kamen changed the game. That guy went from like kickboxing to Muay Thai. Yeah, and really just like leveled up the sport, I feel.
Yeah, did he start? He didn't start in American kickboxing with no low kicks, did he?
Yeah, he started. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
See, that's crazy because I remember seeing him fighting in the kickboxing with the long pants. So he went from a no low kicks rule set to being so good at low kicks that they called the guy Mr. Low Kick.
Yes, exactly.
Like that blew my mind, because it's like you expect some guys to like make the transition and be good at some stuff, but like you wouldn't expect them necessarily to like totally adopt the thing style that their background omitted.
Well, what it was, these Dutch guys were going to Thailand before everybody else. They're like the first like Europeans, like going there consistently. Like I think back in like in the 80s or late 70s, early 80s, there's a lot of Dutch martial artists that are kickboxers that went there to go learn, because like, yo, we're getting our ass kicked by these guys. Yeah, we need to learn how to train with them. So they're like the first like people to really go over there and try to get like implanted with it and brought it back to their home country. Yeah. So, and I think at the time, there was a Japanese man who, karate background, that was bringing people over there to learn that. Right. So they had like a karate background, they had this kickboxing background, and then they're also learning how to utilize that in Muay Thai. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where that whole bridge got connected. Yeah. But now the Dutch we focus pretty heavily on kickboxing because there's more money. Makes sense. The French kind of took over in Europe in regards to like having some of the best fighters. Like you look at Fabio Pinca. Yeah, that guy was freaking savage. He's not really fighting actively anymore. I think he did an MMA fight. And then there's like women.
He fought MMA.
Yeah, he fought MMA.
Was he French or Italian?
He's French.
He was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's French.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, and then there's for women is Anissa Mexen, who's like pound for pound like one of the best kickboxers, but it's never talked about that she's actually killer in Muay Thai also, but she ran out of opponents. So, and she chased the money. She went to kickboxing. And I think ONE FC finally picked her up.
Yeah, ONE FC has done such a good job of like they're making some weird Frankenstein things happen that it's like kind of hurts like as
what?
Like Rod Tang versus Demetrius Johnson.
I mean,
I think it's going to be good for Muay Thai overall, I hope.
I talked about this before on the podcast, and what's cool about it is it's like, was it Muhammad Ali fought that Japanese wrestler?
Yes.
Like they did that. That was like the first
he
free
fought
show.
Antonio Inoki.
Yeah, it's a entertainment fight. It's just it's to get fans on both sides involved in a sport.
Yeah.
Because now people are there in pro wrestling would look at Muhammad Ali and be like, oh, who is this guy? Oh, who has he fought? Oh, and they start learning these fighters.
Exactly.
And then Inoki, they look at him like, oh, what's his deal? Like, what's his story? And you end up building a bigger fan base. So I think doing that with MMA is a very smart business move.
See, that's where I was going with it, where it's like, I think it's, and I hope it's going to be good for Muay Thai in the long run to bring more fans in, but I could see the purists saying, oh, well, come on, like, how could you do this to Muay Thai, you know?
I think it's fine. Anybody who knows will know, because they're going to go look the guy up. I mean, what was it? Floyd Mayweather fought that Japanese kickboxer?
Yeah, he fought Tenshin Nasukawa.
Yeah,
and
he starched him.
Yeah, Tenshin is like, a lot of people think that he's going to be like just an unbeatable phenom. Like, he's so good at kickboxing, but then you go box the best defensive boxer of all time, and you get kind of beat up.
Kinda. That guy, didn't he get dropped?
Do you hear the claims that it was fixed?
Yeah, they were trying to say. Well, they said it was an exhibition fight.
Yeah,
they call it an exhibition.
Yeah, they're calling everything exhibition.
All these free shows are exhibition fights. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Rod Tang and Demetrius Johnson is an exhibition. Speaking about, I mentioned it before. You fought on IFS, so Sean Shalati was doing something before.
Yeah, he was doing. Didn't he call it pro something?
I think it was just Pro 1.
Something like that, yeah. Where it was 1 round boxing, 1 round Muay Thai, and then 1 round MMA.
Yeah, and they all wore MMA gloves the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was like,
dude, I would do that.
I don't know if was he the first one to do like Muay Thai and MMA gloves. That's why I wonder.
I think John Wayne Parr did it before that.
No.
Caged Muay Thai.
No, that wasn't around yet.
Really?
That wasn't around yet. That was 2011 when Sean did that. So
I wonder when Caged Muay Thai started.
I think it's like 2014.
Because John Wayne Parr talks about how like he was the first guy, and he's like he's happy to see that one championship has adopted it.
Man, you're making me wonder now. I'm gonna have to go look this up. Like, when did Caged Muay Thai start? When did Caged Muay Thai start? Okay, let's look it up. The history and origin of Muay Thai. What is Caged Muay Thai? I feel like, I want to say his stuff was like 2014, 2015.
I think you might be right. That's what it's looking like here. I could swear I've seen Caged Muay Thai for longer though.
5 years ago was Caged Muay Thai number 8.
So you're probably right then. It probably started around 2014.
Sean might have been damn. I didn't even realize that.
That's crazy.
I think he actually
just
was
some local amateur promoter in
Orange County.
It was
professional though too.
Oh, he was.
He had pro fighters in there too. It was when CSAC was sanctioning amateurs also for amateur Muay Thai and amateur MMA. So he was able to do it very easy because he already had his license for promotion.
Oh, so they're no longer doing it. Is that why he can't? That's not that event type is not sanctioned anymore? Because it seemed like it became illegal in their eyes, but maybe it's because the sport's now governed by different bodies.
I think it might be because of. Honestly, I don't know why they don't do it anymore. But I definitely from like a regulatory body standpoint, I'm sure that's like something to do with it. But also the sanctioning bodies. I think at the time it's just because there was no like codified rule set. It wasn't like an internationally recognized standard. They kind of let him experiment and see if they can make it work.
Right.
And I think they just ultimately ended up saying no because it was so like one off. Like, how do you score that?
Exactly. I was going to say, scoring's got to be a nightmare.
Yeah, because how do you score?
Is every round weighed the same?
So do you score the boxing round as like you would in like an amateur boxing fight or a professional boxing fight, and then you score Muay Thai like a Muay Thai fight, and then you score MMA with takedowns? Like where's
exactly? Yeah, you'd have to have. I mean,
different scoring criteria,
and you'd have to have super knowledgeable judges that aren't just making it up. Because a judge might know the intricacies of Muay Thai scoring, but not necessarily understand how to weigh a takedown against a body kick or something.
Yeah, yeah, it gets messy. It gets messy for sure. But man, I'm pretty sure Sean Shalabi.
I guess he was.
The first one to do MMA and doing Muay Thai and MMA gloves. But they were like modified. They weren't like straight MMA gloves. They had a little more padding on the knuckle. They were a little bit
Probably
bigger.
sparring gloves, right?
No,
MMA
it was weird. He had them custom made.
Really?
Yeah,
because MMA sparring gloves are popular now, where it's like got as much padding as a boxing glove, but his fingers are free.
It looked like the glove that Bruce Lee had. Very similar to that. You know, like have you seen those?
Like a mitten, kind of?
Yeah, almost like a mitten. And it just had like it was kind of a trip. It was custom. I mean, I'm gonna have to ask him. I'm gonna have to ask Sean about that. I'm gonna have to message him and just ask him if he still has one of those gloves. Because if that's true, then you know, sorry, John Wayne. But if you're the first one too, like I said,
well, he's the first one to do it in cage. At least.
And only Muay Thai. It's
yes,
like a Muay Thai fight, high level Muay Thai.
Oh yeah, for sure.
High level Muay Thai. When I think. Like Sean, he was getting just anybody he really could that was like licensed pro to like be able to do it. That were like down to go throw down. They did amateurs with it too.
Right.
So it was more like gimmicky. I felt it wasn't like one of those things that was like
hard to take seriously. Yeah. It's
yeah,
like, that's might not go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's ultimately why the commission decided to axe it for him.
Wow.
What it came down to.
Anyways, we talked about one championship. What do you think about Rod Tang knocking out Giorgio Petrosian?
It wasn't Rod Tang.
Oh, not Rod Tang. Sorry. Superbun.
Superbun.
I had Rod Tang on the mind after talking about.
That was nasty. I was wondering what happened. I just saw Michael Chavello posted that he broke his jaw. He's getting surgery.
He broke Petrosian's jaw?
Yeah, he broke his jaw. He's getting surgery today.
And the crazy thing is, like, Petrosian does everything so perfectly. It even looked like he was covering up when he was getting kicked.
But it went right over his glove.
It just like brushed against the glove. That it came over and hit him in the jaw.
Yeah, it
was insane. I would have bet the farm on Petrosian to win.
I think everybody would, because, unless he breaks something, I think the last time I really saw him lose was against Andy Risti. And
he only has one loss.
And I think it's Andy Risti.
Probably, yeah.
And what happened is he broke his hand. And he fought with a broken hand. So and it was his cross. That's like his money shot, right? So he didn't have his money shot anymore to like make people respect that. And he's southpaw, for those out there that don't know. So that's his left hand. So that's a very powerful tool in the Southpaw Orthodox matchup. Then on top of it, Andy Risti had the very unorthodox style. I think he trained with, what's his name, Lucio Carbon, the guy from that Tiffany Van Soest is training with now.
Oh.
And so he is very big on like walking forward and switch stances, fighting with both sides. Yeah. Very much like kickboxing style.
Yeah.
And so Andy Risti, I'm pretty sure trained with him. Andy Risti being from Suriname.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Do you know the story about Suriname?
No, I don't.
So it's off the coast of Brazil.
Okay.
South America, but it's a Dutch colony. So I'm like, I always wondered, like, from Suriname, I'm like, where the hell is Suriname? I looked it up, I'm like, how the hell are these guys getting from, like, down by Brazil to the Netherlands? I'm like, oh, there it is. It's because these guys come over, they're like, basically, a lot of these people, they were brought over as slaves.
Okay.
And they ended up settling there with the Dutch colony, and then they ended up learning Dutch. And they just got some freak genetics, man. Their family were workers their whole life. So, and very poor. And it's like the perfect combination, right? Like we had in boxing.
Exactly.
So you had poor working class, they need to fight to get out of poverty, and they end up just doing this for a living. And they're a little bit thuggish.
Wow.
So, like, you get these guys like Moroccan stuff too, same thing.
Yeah. I've seen so many Moroccans that have gotten into kickboxing.
And they all have that beard now too.
Yeah, the chin strap?
Yeah.
The mustache, the chin strap?
I don't get it, but like more power to them. They kick ass. Don't mess me up, guys.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, we're kind of getting ready for competition prep here in a little bit. So you've been... how'd you get involved in Muay Thai?
So I did Krav Maga on the East Coast, and then I came out to California to go to school in Santa Paula, which is right next to Ventura. And, I still went back home to train during the summer and around winter break, around Christmas time, but I was too busy with school, didn't have a car, I wasn't really able to train while I was at school until finally my senior year. I got some access to a car, and I was like, okay, there are no Krav Maga gyms near me, so I need to either do Muay Thai to get better at striking, or I need to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to get better at grappling. And even though Krav Maga does a ton of striking, I picked up grappling much better than I picked up striking. I was like a wonder kid on the pads, but in sparring, I wasn't good in sparring. I had no natural sense of distance and timing.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to get better at sparring. So I was like, even though I kind of want to do grappling and jiu-jitsu, I'll do Muay Thai because I can find one of those gyms near me. So I went to Crew Trinidad's gym, the Muay Thai Academy of Ventura. They're not in business anymore. And I started training with them like kind of on and off during senior year because it was difficult with classes. Then I graduated, got a job, and then once I was kind of set up, I started training seriously. And then I was serious. I was there overall maybe a year and a half, but serious for close to a year. Fought a couple times for Crew Trinidad, and then ended up having to work up in Santa Barbara. And so it's like my opportunities to train basically went away. And I was even teaching Krav Maga for him too.
Yeah, you told me about that a couple times.
Yeah.
During Zumba classes.
Yeah, man. I ended up having to do it during Zumba classes. So I was competing. He put us up in the ring, and I was competing against the sound of the Zumba class. So after a while, I told him, I was like, man, I can't do this, man, because no one's going to sign up for this. I have 3 students that show up every time, and it's like...
it's just hard, you know?
Yeah, it was really tough.
He was trying to make it work, you know?
It was, yeah, and like, I don't blame him. Like, he was making a smart business decision, I'm sure, but I couldn't do it. And then with work, I wasn't able to make it in the gym at all anyways. Then work got me down to Sherman Oaks, so I was hooked back up with Krav Maga Worldwide again. So I was finally back to training, which like pulled me out of like a depression from not being able to hit stuff for a year. But like this whole time, like I still had this like love for Muay Thai, especially because one of my chief Krav Maga instructors on the East Coast had a background in Thai boxing, and he had really great Muay Thai, and so like I was just researching more about it, falling in love with the culture of like Muay Thai itself, and like the sport, and then like how the Thais do it, how the Europeans did it when they went to Thailand. I was all in on it, and I loved it. And when I got a chance to finally come back up from training in Sherman Oaks at Krav Maga Worldwide, and I even booked myself, you know this, I booked myself a Muay Thai fight while I was training at the Krav Maga gym. I reached out to Sean Shalati at IFS, I think it was IFS 47.
Booked yourself a fight.
I reached out, I booked myself a fight, I grabbed 2 other instructors because I was teaching there, and I said, you two, will you corner me? I'll get you certified as cornermen. I took care of all their paperwork. I bought my own corner kit. I paid all the registration fees. I sold all the tickets.
Yeah.
I did my own fight camp and nutrition. I cut weight. Like, I was so motivated to fight. And also, like, to show to my students that it's like, hey, listen, man, like...
You can do this.
Like, in Krav Maga, we don't compete normally, but, like, I'm willing to go in there and watch you guys, like, have you guys watch me throw down with someone.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then when I got a chance to work closer to home, I finally was like, finally, I can train at a gym in Ventura again. Yeah. And I always knew about Pu'u Muay Thai while I was training up the street. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to walk in here and see how it goes. And
here we are.
Yeah, the rest is history. You know, I walked in the door like a little bit less than a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That I started training, and then ended up.
This past year and a half has been crazy though. It feels like longer.
Yeah, feels like it's been forever.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you should have figured out a way to get over sooner, man.
Yeah, I know, right? I should have driven an hour down to Sherman Oaks for work, and then driven an hour back to train.
Would have been worth it, man.
Yeah, it honestly would have been. Yeah,
it would have been worth it.
I started training during the shutdowns, and that was like when I kind of realized, like, instantly I knew it was a good decision, because I was like the kind of people, like the way you decided to work with what was going on at the time and the difficulties. It's like the way that I saw the adaptation. I was like, these are the kind of people that I want to train with. This isn't someone who's gonna like rip the rug out from under you just because it becomes a little bit more inconvenient to train hard. And I was like, I'm in the right place.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I know it's stoked to have you. We're training for US Muay Thai Open.
That's right.
So if there's any, your 140 pound bracket.
140 pounds. Yep.
140 pound B class.
Yep.
If there's any 140 pound B class people out there, go freaking register for the US Muay Thai Open, okay? Need some people for Connor to scrap. Because right now he's currently the lone one in his bracket. There's one person at 135. Below him, one person at, was it 147?
147. I think it's
148.
132 and 148.
Yeah, 132 and 148. So get more people in there, guys. If there's anybody at the tournament this weekend out in Iowa, go register if your body's good, okay? Hit me up. Any closing words, Coach?
No, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Well, man, thanks for having me on.
All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing. Also, there's another way to support us. If you guys visit our Patreon link, it's in the show notes. Also on our YouTube, if you go to pmtlifestyle.com, there's a Patreon link up at the top. You can support us for as little as $5 a month to get some behind-the-scenes footage, things of that nature, to see what we're doing behind the scenes for Pu'u Muay Thai, what we're trying to get going. Also, you can get some early access clips. You can also get t-shirts,
merchandise and a few other things as perks of being a patron. Again, go check that out. It's at pmtlifestyle.com.